Hello, good morning, guys. Good morning to you today. Happy Sunday. How was your weekend? How was yesterday? I believe that you had a great weekend. Okay, I believe we were still, finishing up and polishing up our sculpt, which is important that you do. Okay, ZBrush. I know ZBrush can be tedious. It can be, hard, but I believe that if you take your time, take it one step at a time, play with your brushes, play with the size of your brushes to get the results you want, you're going to achieve this, even better sculpts than this. All right. So this morning I'm going to quickly take us through how to bring our character pretty much to life by adding colors and textures to it. Starting from the eyes, the mouth, giving it blush, teaching you how to give color to this character. So technically, we are Africans, all right, and we may want to give it a darkish color, skin tone, all right. But I would want to leverage on semi-African, right? That is like a chocolate or a brownish guy. You understand, so that you could really follow along with the techniques we'll be using today. All right, so I'm going to jump straight in, but first of all I'm going to deal with the eyes. Okay, but before we go there, somebody was asking how it could open file. So all I wanted you to do was click on the light box. All right, because this is open file. So when you click on open file, it will take you to where you saved your file. All you have to do is find where you saved your file, and that's it. So this is where I saved mine, and I open. Mine is already open, so there's no point. I just open. So when I click it, it's going to ask me to either save this one or something. I just press save, and it's saved. It's the same file, so I can still save it on top of the other one. All right. So when it saves, it will take a while. It's loading data. All right, to take a while. I think because this is the total point here is 1.8 million, so it saves, and tada, you have opened your file. Also, if you want to save, just Ctrl S. It saves your work. Always Ctrl S. All right, don't always depend on the quick save. All right, so like that's it. That's how to open a file. Okay, so if by mistake, let's say for example this guy was selected, all right, and you mistakenly clicked on click outside just like this, and your character turned dark. All right, so it's a mask. All right, two things may happen. It's either you masked outside and clears it, or you came here and changed your color. All right, which is most likely that some of you would try to do. All right, so let's jump straight into the coloring. All right, let's start with the eyes. So Alt and click the eyes. So my eye is already ready to be added, to add a color to it. So I'm going to show you the basic way. There is an advanced way to this. All right, so but I won't show you that because we might end up spending a whole lot of time. All right, so I need to start with the eyes. So in the next lesson I'll enter into the skin itself. All right, so we'll go on. All right, so the eyes. So first of all, we want to change. If you hold down Alt and press and select a mask, you'll see that it's a square. All right, so what we want is a circle that will draw a mask that we can paint on, so we don't end up. So if you draw a mask here, you understand, it just masks everything. All right, sorry, my English, try. Just masks everything. All right, or you would want to maybe reduce your brush size and maybe color the parts just color the part you want your stuff to affect. This is one way, but I like being precise and let it be perfect. All right, so what I want, so if I click and it will invert the marks, so when it will select the other area, so I'll just have to paint here and we're done. But that's not the way I want it, so I'll just hold down Alt. If you hold down Alt, you see this change to a max what's it called, a max tools, a max settings that you could change. So first of all, we'll click on this brush. So initially it was brush set to brush, but if you press control, if you press control and select this brush, so it will give you max option. So we would want to select max circle. If you can't find it here, it's down here, max circle. So when you press that, still holding control, we'll come in here and select circle. So press that again, select center, so it marks in the center. You press that again, select square, so that it's marks precisely and doesn't go from the oval shape and trying to get the precise circle. Okay, let me deactivate this square so you see what I mean. So if we come here and select square, you see what's happening. All right, so it's not precise, so you'd want to come and try to get the marks, which is not fine. All right, so you want to select square so that it marks precisely. All right, so we all saw the image I posted yesterday. So I want to give this character maybe a sleepy eye kind of marks eye, so you can give it your own. If you want to give it a smallish eye, Chinese eye or something, but this character has a big eye, so I want to leverage on that bigness. All right, and give it this cry kind of look. All right, so that's pretty much it in adding marks to the character. So if I release my control key, set this to freehand so that I can paint. So I'll just invert the selection. Oh, by the way, I don't like this marks, so I want to stick to what I used yesterday. Maybe like the character is looking up or something. I think let's stick to the forward, the character looking forward, so that we really get the juice of this when we are sculpting. All right, so it's more like a baby. All right, baby characters usually have these big iris or big eye lenses or something. All right, so we'll just keep playing with it till we get maybe the right one for ourselves. All right, so maybe I'll just come here. Okay, this is fine for me. So it has more of the iris inside and a little bit here, so it's okay. So if I click outside, it will invert the selection. So next thing I'm going to do is the coloring. Now if you come up here, hover around here, this is where you find the color. Now it's set to RGB. All right, then add. So the reason why this is, so if I select, let's say, the standard brush, all right, so this is not selected. Okay, so if I start sculpting, it will start adding volume to the character. All right, that's not what we want. So what we want to do is deselect add, so it doesn't add anything, add anything to this sculpt. But if I select RGB, why this is set to red, I start sculpting, you'll see my color, I start coloring the character. So first of all, I think we should give this guy a white. Okay, stay there. So if you haven't given this guy right, we want to, let's say, make this I would have want to paint the face first, because if we want to change this guy, all of them will change together. So this is set to white. Okay, fine. So I haven't set this to white, the eyes to white, so nothing has happened. So while this is still set to 100% RGB, 100% intensity, we'll come here to color, and fill object. So what this does is that it takes the color from here and fills it in here. So even if you maybe change the color of this head, it won't affect this one. So that's how ZBrush is built. So you fill the color here. Oh, this is selected. Sorry. Fill the color here. So you come to material. Let's select wow, so everything turns to a toy plastic. So we want to make there are a lot of materials to play with. You could just play with anyone. So this material talks about the texture of the skin. All right, so we want to use this type for when we are applying materials to the skin itself. All right, but for the eyes, we want to give it this shiny kind of eyes, right, that has reflection. Okay, remember what I did. Standard brush, deactivate the add or subtract so that it doesn't influence the sculpt. You're just dealing with the coloring. So this is, let's just take for example, this is the color part, this is the sculpt part. All right, so I'm looking for a simpler way to explain this. Right, so this is the color part. That's why I didn't play with the intensity. This intensity has to do with the sculpt. The intensity here has to do with the coloring or the material, or in professional it's called surfacing. So that's the term for it. So we would want to jump in and start coloring right now. Right, so if we select our eyes, our mask is gone, so we want to do that again. Draw another mask here. All right, so when that is done, click outside to invert selection. So with your standard brush selected, we want to give it this brownish. While we are doing this, the skin, the body, the head texture will be changing because we haven't applied any textures to it, but don't worry. So it's the eyes we want to focus more on. So give it this brownish look. So if we come here and start painting, you see that we are painting the eyes, right? But that intensity is too high, so we want to reduce intensity while we are doing this, but we haven't gotten the right color yet. I think this maybe darkish brown is just fine. So if we paint here, all right, so if you notice in the human eye we have this whitish, okay, let's practice it. All right, so you understand as we go forward. So we want to reduce the intensity down a bit. Set this to white, just follow along. All right, set this to white. Reduce our brush size, or S to reduce. So if we come here and start giving it this lines, you can make it a little bit slimmer for the brush size. So let's undo all that. Use the much slimmer brush. So I don't know if you've seen this in the human eye. It's usually there. I'm just showing you a simpler way to do this. There's a more professional way to do it, advanced by the way, that you could learn. Right? I don't want to teach you that today. Maybe in the future you could check YouTube for tutorials on how to do that. So having done this, I want to come back to our brown color, maybe a higher shade of brown, right? Increase our brush size and paint the middle here on top of this one. Alright, so we still have a shade of that white in there, so we want to increase it a bit, maybe to this shade of brown. Paint down here, increase it to maybe a whitish shade. Alright, so just paint some reflection to it. Maybe high is the word for it, highlight. So paint some highlights below the whites. Then finally we need a black. Now we now have a black baby. So we want to paint that black in the middle. So we increase the brush size a bit. Just focus on the middle, paint the black in the middle. No, I think we should use a deep brown instead, like a very deep brown before the black. So it has this fall off. Alright, and then now we can now use the black for the middle. Just paint, the black in the middle. So if we change this, for example, so you see we now have the eyes. It's not perfect, but give it a take. That's the human eyes. That's the baby eyes. So in the advanced way, I would play with the model, this eye model, extrude inside, try to get a precise lens. All this thing I'm painting, I'll play with it with the sculpt itself to get a precise lens before I drop in the eye texture. So I'll use a texture to play with it. So you'll notice that below here, if you come down here, the resolution here is low. You can see it, that the resolution is low. So that's why you're seeing this zigzag line. So if the resolution was a bit higher, that if you go to your Dynamesh, you see the resolution was a bit higher, you would have maybe a more precise circle. But I don't want to increase it because it will start dragging like you're seeing now. So let's deal with the head in the next class. So see you in the next class. And by the way, the human eye, is the white area is not always totally white. All right, so we'd want to give it this maybe reddish kind of feel. All right, reduce the intensity very low, just paint, maybe increase your brush size a bit, reduce the intensity again, and just paint to have that maybe dark shade. All right, so that's it. It's not totally white. Okay, so if we increase this guy, so we have a white baby with an eye, or a white man with an eye. Alright, so that's pretty much how to paint eyes basically. This is a basic, very basic way, simplest way I could show you how to paint it. Alright, so in the next class we're going to deal with the head itself. So see you in the next class. Peace.